Hello everybody, Penny Shelton here, welcoming you to another episode of Foodie Friday. Well, I'm getting ready to switch things up on you just a little bit today because this is the final Friday in the month of January 2011, and next Tuesday, myself and so far about 260 of you are getting ready to embark on a 28-day total reset cleanse throughout the month of February. So I'm stealing this little Foodie Friday time to talk to you about some of the fundamental things on cleansing, specifically getting juicy. That's right, it's the most important part of the cleansing process in my humble opinion. I've had some questions come through that I want to answer during this episode, and I think it'll be helpful. Even if you already know this information, I've taken some notes that I want to share with you because I know there's a lot of people that are kind of new to this whole concept, so I think it'll be good for all of us to revisit these basics and expound upon them as well during this Foodie Friday episode. First question, what is really the difference between juicing and drinking green smoothies? I mean, don't we really need fiber in our diet? Yes, fiber is extremely important to us. I mean, we have to have it. It is crucial for so many reasons. It's kind of acts as the intestinal broom that goes through our digestive tract and helps the eliminatory process. I mean, we know that, right? However, if you are eating a raw food diet, let's say, that's filled with lots of fiber, or if you're even drinking green smoothies, which have the same amount of fiber as if you were eating the food itself, even though it's broken down a little bit, the body has to really work to separate that juice from the fiber. There is additional energy expenditure that happens during this process. And one of the goals of super cleansing or juicing is to give your body a select period of time to eliminate all of that energy expenditure that you are putting into digesting your food. So, I mean, it can be done for a day, it can be done for several days, it can be done long term, but choosing to juice, I don't want to lose my flow here. Choosing to juice really does give your body a vacation from the solid food, but it still floods your system with mega doses of nutrient density. So it's, I mean, I always just kind of think of juicing as like you're giving yourself a B12 shot. I mean, you don't have to do any work. You're just like sitting there, you're drinking it down, and it goes straight into your bloodstream without you having to break it apart. So it's ideal for people that have compromised immunities, for people that have degenerative diseases, that are having digestive issues. Green vegetable juice is what I'm talking about right now. Okay, we don't want to start flooding people with straight up fruit juice because then their blood sugar is going to elevate and it's going to be ugly, and we'll probably save that topic for a later date. But anyway, we want to give our bodies the maximum opportunity that we can to cleanse and rejuvenate and balance and heal. Okay? When you are drinking a generous amount of extracted juices, even though no solid food is going in, there's going to be a massive thing that starts to happen, and your body's going to start dumping stuff into your digestive tract, old waste material. It's going to start to loosen up because your body's getting alkalinized, and it's going to start coming into homeostasis or balance. I think that juicing really does bring that quicker than anything else. So when you go on to juice, you are putting yourself on the fast track to healing, restoring, and rejuvenating. So you're also flooding your cells. You're plumping those up. You're super hydrating your body. Most of our bodies are really dehydrated. Even if we don't even think they are, we're not getting the adequate amount of hydration into our bodies. Okay, so all that being said, it sounds like that I am pro-juice and anti-green smoothie, and that's not the case because I'm a big fan of drinking green smoothies. Green smoothies are really powerfully creative and very highly nutritious for our body because the mainstay of a green smoothie is leafy greens, which is the plant-based protein that we so desperately need to get our bodies mineralized and alkalinized and all of that. So in both of my 14-day and 28-day cleanse in my book, which I have, Raw Food Cleanse, what I do is several days of juicing to start off with, Then I transition that onto green smoothies. So you're starting to slowly add fiber back into the program. And then from that, you transition into solid, plant-based, whole, raw foods throughout the rest of the cleanse. Okay, I mean, if you literally have just come straight from the McDonald's drive-thru, you're probably going, this is way more. And that's okay, because, you know, I heard this message myself for the first time and I was a little boggled by it all. Or you're going, you know, I don't have a juicer, I don't have a blender, and that's okay too, because I'm just talking about this right now. You guys can eat 100% raw food for the month of February and still rock a cleanse, but I just want to cover these fundamental basics right now. Okay, so this question I thought was excellent, and I've gotten it so many times too. Can I make a day's worth of juice and keep it in the refrigerator without harming the enzymes and the vitamins and the minerals, and, you know, was it going to oxidize too much? What do I do? Okay. Well, you know, most of y'all know I did a 3-month juice feast a couple of years ago, and so I really got pretty well versed on this, and, you know, I was juicing a lot. My juicer was always warm because I was rocking it out in my kitchen. So what I learned from David Rainishek, who was my mentor in the juice feasting program, you probably really need to go check out his website. It's to the right side of our page over here, juicefeasting.com. Just go check it out. Have fun. Take some time and go explore their website because it's full of information. But the bottom line is try to juice, if you're juicing, in the morning for that full day. And what you want to do is you want to take like a mason jar and you want to fill it all the way to the top and then screw on the lid as tight as you can, because air is going to cause further oxidation, which depletes the mineral and vitamin content. So the goal is to keep as much nutrition in that juice for as long as possible. So 24 hours on juice is what personally I recommend, no longer than that, okay? 36 hours, David Rainishek says, you know, you can do it, but he says absolutely don't even drink the juice or green smoothies after 36 hours, regardless of what kind of machine you're working with. Whether you've got a Jack LaLanne or you've got a Green Star juicer, 36 hours is max, because at that point, you know, you might as well just drink some water. That's probably not exactly true, but you know what I mean. It's also not going to taste as good either. So you're going to get your maximum benefit within the first 24 to 36 hours. Obviously, the fresher the juice, the more nutrient dense. Can I make a week's worth of juice all at once and then freeze it for use during the week? Okay, now I'm quoting David Rainishek here, because he's sort of my guru on this. The enzymes in fresh juice cannot take the freezer. Also, your juices will generally just not taste good. So if you're traveling, make extra juice. Don't drink juice more than 36 hours old, and the same goes for green smoothies. When storing, and I already talked about filling it to the top, because if you leave a big gap of air in your juice in the refrigerator, that air is going to go in there and start working to oxidize that juice, right? When traveling, find juice bars in your area. Plan your trip ahead of time so you know where to go get your juice, or if you can, if you're driving, pack your juicer with you and go to the grocery store and buy produce. Now that's really his information for people that are doing a long-term juice feast, but I wanted to share that with you. Okay, what are we going to do? You know, what's the program here? Everybody's been asking me, you know, what do we do during a cleanse? And I just want to tell you, when it comes to food, whether you're juicing or you're doing green smoothies or whatever it is that you are doing, the mainstay of our diet, especially during the month of February, needs to be leafy greens. Really. People are always afraid that they're not going to get enough protein, or they're not going to get enough iron if they're juicing or doing smoothies or they're eating raw foods. I mean, what am I going to do for protein? Massive quantity of usable plant-based protein. No, it's not the same kind of protein that you're going to get in meat. That's harder to digest than the amino acids that come in a very easily digestible form in leafy greens. So kale is my friend. Another thing, and I hated buying this, but it was my only option. This is one of those big tubs, baby spinach, which I love. It's so mild. I mean, when you're just starting off with leafy greens, this is a pound, by the way. This big thing, this tub is a pound. Sometimes they come in a pound and a half, but spinach is a really great leafy green to start with because it's tender and the flavor of it's really mild. So it's great when you're first starting out with juicing or smoothies. But if you've read Victoria Butanko's book, Green for Life, you know the importance of rotating a variety of greens into your smoothies, juices, and your raw food diet because they all have different elements and different properties, so you're going to want to rotate those or you're going to lose your taste for green smoothies or green juices pretty quickly. Over a week or two, you'll lose your taste for that. So we want to make sure to try, if we're juicing exclusively, we want to try to get 3 heads of leafy greens into those juices at some point during the day. That's the goal. So this, kale, spinach, romaine lettuce. I mean, you know the list of all the leafy greens. I think I even wrote it down here, some of the ones that I particularly like. Kale, parsley, romaine, butter lettuce, dandelion greens, chard, arugula, or rocket. All of that. It's really good. 30% usable protein per serving. Celery. You guys gotta have the celery. I mean, I want to wrap this up. In the month of February, try to get as much organic celery into your diet as possible. I try to juice 1 whole head of this every day when I'm juicing. It's got organic sodium, not the kind of sodium that we want to stay away from like in salt, but organic sodium most of our bodies are painfully deficient in. So this is going to give you, if you like salty food, you are going to kind of get that palate satisfaction. It's huge. Okay, this, I already talked about leafy greens, and I recommend 1 cucumber a day per person during the month of February. Whether you're juicing it or you're blending it into a raw soup or you're just cutting it up and eating it, it's great. And I want to tell you before I sign off why I love both of those together, okay? Cucumber and celery together. I've lost my place on my notes here. Okay, I know this, but I want to make sure that I read it correctly. Celery and cucumbers are a powerful team in juice, as the organic sodium of celery helps to transport the water-rich and silica-rich cucumber juice directly into your cells, which are often toxic. This food will flood your tissues and it will alkalinize your body and give you super uber hydration. I plan to drink a juice this whole month. This is going to be like my daily green juice, okay? I'm going to put a bunch of leafy greens in, including parsley, because parsley is an internal purifier, detoxifier, deflammant. I mean, it's going to, if you're dealing with a lot of mucus and phlegm, sorry, it's kind of gross, parsley, watercress, those really dark, dense leafy greens, throw a little handful of that in your juice or smoothie. Celery, cucumber, lemon, and Granny Smith apples. I try to buy a crisper, lower glycemic apple so that my blood sugar is going to stay real centered while I'm doing juices and smoothies. So today we really talked a lot about juicing, and you know I'm a big fan of it. And I want to encourage you that if you have a juicer, use it in the month of February. If you have a blender, you can always blend and strain to create juice. But don't be stressed out about any of this. I'm just giving you education and information, things that maybe you didn't already know. Maybe you do know this, but I'm just reminding you of this and it hopefully inspiring you to get your cleanse on during the month of February. If you've got any more questions or you want to add anything to this discussion, which we could probably go on literally for 8 hours on this discussion, please add your comment underneath this video. I'd love to chat you up about it. I'll be back again soon with more cleansing info for you. Love you. Bye.